Hey guys, so if you're just starting to get on Amazon, this is probably where you make the most mistakes, kind of in the first year or two when you're really learning the ropes. And so I made another video, part 1, which is the 15 most common mistakes that Amazon sellers make, but actually it was really popular, so I wanted to create another part 2 video with 15 more mistakes that I commonly see that the newer sellers making, so hopefully prevent you guys from making the same mistakes that we did from the early beginning. So if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Fernando Cruz. Last month I've been living in Mexico. Right now actually we're in the beautiful Oaxaca, just kind of hanging out with my girlfriend. And so yeah, a little bit of who I am. I'm one of the partners in Seller.Tradecraft, and then last year alone we generated over $10 million on Amazon just through our private label business. Alright, so new sellers, definitely pay attention to this because this is going to save you guys a ton of headaches in the future. So mistake number 1 is not using a keyword tool like Zonwords. So Zonwords actually just came out on the market. It's one of my favorite tools specifically for keywords. So I think there's 2 really important parts to the business. One is choosing the right product, but then 2 is making sure that your product is actually well optimized. And Zonwords is a great tool specifically for keeping track of your keywords, figuring out which keywords to use, and it's just one central place where you can keep all of that information for all of your products. So I would definitely suggest using that tool. There's other great ones out there like Seller.Tools and Keyword Inspector, but overall I think Zonwords is probably the best value so far that I've seen. Mistake number 2 is if you're going to be doing private label, a common problem is there's going to be a lot of hijackers. So the mistake is not being enrolled in Amazon's brand registry program. And so for those that don't know what brand registry is, it's actually a program where you register your trademark with Amazon, and then basically you have access to all of those listings. You can kind of control who sells on those listings for that specific trademark. And so if you're selling private label, it's going to be a common problem where people are going to jump on your listing, pretend that their product is yours, and then you're going to lose the buy box. And that's a huge problem because you're losing out sales. So brand registry is the best program to, at least right now, that's free, to kick off those hijackers. So definitely make sure to enroll your product or your products into brand registry as soon as you can. And if you haven't yet, applied for your trademark. Mistake number 3 is actually not personalizing your product at all. And so I see this all the time where someone's like, oh, I'm just going to test with, let's say, 500 units, but I'm not going to put my logo, I'm not going to personalize it at all. At least, at the very, very least, just put like a sticker with your brand. Because if there is a hijacker, and this is kind of related to mistake number 2, is that if you don't have anything personalizing the item, then when Amazon asks you to show like the distinguishing features of the products, if you don't have anything, then it's going to be a lot harder to kick those hijackers off. So make sure to personalize your product, even the slightest way, like I mentioned, with like an insert or like a sticker, so that Amazon can distinguish your products from your competitors and kick them off your listing. Okay, so mistake number 4 is not bundling with a complementary product to actually differentiate your listing. So Amazon's definitely more competitive than it was maybe like 3 years ago. And so one of the cool hacks that we do is that we'll bundle our products with a complementary product. And what it does is, 1, it differentiates our listing, which is great. 2, we can provide more value to our customers because we're going to save on the combined FBA fees if we're selling 2 items. So there's a lot of great ways to do this. One of my favorites that I've seen is selling like a battery pack, let's say, with an iPhone cable. And so that's just a very like intuitive bundle. So coming up with that, and that's a great way to kind of differentiate yourself from your competition. Mistake number 5 that I see is people don't optimize their listings. And so this is like a huge area for improvement. So there's tools out there like Splitly, which are really great in terms of optimizing your best images and your best pricing. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, your keywords need to be optimized, your titles, making sure to have, let's say, lifestyle images, testing to have like the best main image so that you're getting the most people to click on your listing. All of that kind of stuff is great room for improvement, and then making sure that your conversion rates are at least above 20%. So number 6 is neglecting product reviews. Everybody checks product reviews on Amazon. It's now like the social currency basically when you're shopping, because it actually proves like social validation. And so what you really want to do is make sure that you're doing everything you can to, 1, make sure that you get rid of all the negative reviews that you can, and getting as many positive reviews that are going to stick, like the verified reviews, because that's like going to be the first thing that a lot of customers see is the number of reviews when they're shopping on Amazon. And then mistake number 7 that I commonly see is people not optimizing and using sponsored products or PPC. So this is like definitely one of like our best strategies for getting to the top of Amazon, because if you're getting sales using sponsored products, then you're basically showing Amazon like, hey, people are buying this product when using, or, when searching with these specific keywords. And so you're much more likely to get higher up in the organic search results if you're definitely optimizing your PPC campaigns. And it's a great way to get even profitable sales. Okay, mistake number 8 is not collecting sales tax, at least in your home state. So I am not a tax attorney. No, it's definitely not legal advice, but there's great softwares out there like TaxJar to help automate it. And so, there's definitely a lot of like kind of gray area around sales tax right now. So I would definitely recommend contacting like, a legal advisor. But I think at the very, very least, you should be collecting in your home state. Yeah, I can say for our business, we collect in like 20 something states. And I think there is like some kind of advantage to that in terms of kind of getting like interest-free loans from the state. But it's definitely one thing that you really want to pay attention to as a new seller. Okay, mistake number 9 is always competing on price. So I think when competition gets heavier, I think almost everybody's natural reaction is just to drop the price, and always competing on price. Or I'm going to launch the exact same product, but I'm just going to sell it for 20% less than them. And I think that's like not necessarily the best way of always competing, because it's always going to be a race to the bottom. You're going to get shrinking margins, and it's going to be harder and harder to make money. So I think really thinking about differentiating is a huge piece of like building your Amazon business. So like I mentioned, like kind of complementary products or bundling, or creating like a more premium version. There's just so many other ways to go about it so that you're not always competing on price. Okay, mistake number 10 that I see common is running out of stock. And so this is huge on Amazon, because if you run out of stock, your search rank is gonna get hurt, because basically where you show up on Amazon's search results is based on your overall sales in different like weighted average periods. And so if you are out of stock for like a bunch of days, then that is going to be hurting where you end up on the search results. So a lot of the time we'll send stuff by air if we know that we can do it profitably, even though our margin is going to be less, but it's going to avoid us from running out of stock. So really pay attention to your inventory planning. We have an entire team dedicated. We actually have 3 inventory planners now for our 250 SKUs. They each manage about 80 SKUs, but it's incredibly important for us as a growing business to make sure that we stay in stock all the time. So mistake number 11 is failing to comply with Amazon's like packaging requirements. So they have really specific requirements around like carton sizes, weight, like if you have poly bags, all that kind of stuff. But that's super, super important. You can get hit with tons of fees if your products aren't labeled correctly or they're not packaged correctly. So definitely make sure, depending on what product you're selling, that you're meeting all those requirements. Mistake number 12 that I commonly see people doing is going after really complicated products. So maybe things with like magnets or batteries or electrical, all that kind of stuff is really challenging in the beginning. There's a lot of certifications and everything that's required as part of it. So I definitely would not recommend that as your first product. Go with something a little bit simpler that's going to be a lot easier. Mistake number 13 is going after a product with no market interest. And so I think it's really cool to be unique and maybe be looking at other areas for where to get inspiration from. Like, I don't know, maybe you're going to Crate and Barrel or to Target to find products to sell. But also be really careful in terms of you need to make sure that there's actual interest on Amazon for that product. Because maybe if you're going after like a really high-end vase for whatever reason, like maybe that's not gonna, it fits well at Crate and Barrel, but not necessarily on Amazon. Mistake number 14 is not that I see often is people getting married to the same product. So they find this product that they're like, oh man, this is gonna be the product that I'm gonna source, and they go through and then they start reaching out to manufacturers and they realize the pricing doesn't work, and so they go and they reach out to more manufacturers, and then like still doesn't happen, and then they reach out to more manufacturers, and they're so in love with this specific product, they don't realize, hey, maybe this isn't like the best product. And so one of the things I tell like the new people on our team is don't get married to a specific product. Try to be sourcing multiple products at the same time, and then comparing them against each other to decide which is the best product. And then mistake number 15, the last one for you guys, is not reinvesting the profits. So yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome to take some money out of the business and kind of enjoy, but I think right now this is like kind of like a golden era for Amazon. There's so much opportunity, and so as much as you can, reinvest the profits, you know, buy more inventory, launch new products, because there's just so much like room for opportunity still left on Amazon for you guys to grow your business. But yeah, that's part 2 for the 15 mistakes that I see kind of newer sellers making on Amazon. I hope that's really helpful for you guys, and hopefully these tips can help you guys get to the next level in your Amazon business. Good luck.